Okay, hello guys, and welcome back to an academy platform. So let's crack NEET PG. Myself, Dr. Muskan Chaudhary, and we'll again have a question answer session round covering the questions that has been asked previously in the AIMS examination. So, starting with the Unacademy, as we know, Unacademy is the India's largest learning platform where we get access to both the live and the recorded sessions, mainly beneficial for students who are doing JRship and find it difficult. They can watch the recorded sessions whenever they have the time to do so. All right, competitive live TNDs, that is to help you prepare and analyze your performance, and around 25,000 of MCQs that are given by the Unacademy on the platform by the topmost educators, and printed notes will be provided soon. Prep Ladder has come together, and Prep Ladder is, as we know, the rapid revision sessions of the Prep Ladder are the gems for the NEET PG aspirants to cover the topic within short period of the time with clinical integrated essentials, video lectures, and the rapid revision snapshots with treasures and the 2021 dream notes with well-structured live batches and the Q banks of the Unacademy competitive TNDs and the recorded sessions with printed notes. FMG batch is started to assess the preparation within 2 months because exam is going to happen in what December. INICT for 1 month revision and target NEET PG to cover all the subjects within 6 months with clinical case discussion and the instruments to provide the clinical knowledge with the live interactive classes, integrated clinical approach, recorded versions, and PDF notes with GAN test series and structured basis. Now, courses that are being provided. Raise a hand technique that is provided by the Unacademy platform, and with 12 month subscriptions, you get 2 months totally free, and with 24 months, you get 4 months totally free. For subscriptions mainly beneficial for second year, third year to have both the conceptual basis for theory purpose as well for the examination, professional examination point of view, as well as for the NEET PG preparation. All right, so these are the there has been a price hiking within the October for the Iconic. For 1 year is 52K 500, 18 months it's 57,500, and for 24 months it's around 65,000, for 36 months it's around 75,000, and for 48 months it's around 85K. And use my code, that is Muskan 10, to get 10% of the discount. So we shall start with the first question of the session. The cell wall of the gram positive bacteria may contribute to the development of the septic shock. Identify the component which is most associated with the induction of the septic shock. Now the key point is what we are talking about. We are talking about now we are actually talking about what? We are talking about the gram positive bacteria. We are talking about the gram positive bacteria. Endotoxin must have been the answer अगर अपन बात करते किसकी gram negative, but the question is saying for what gram positive. Now we remember the mnemonic that endotoxin is what एन से क्या है नेगेटिव ग्राम नेगेटिव बैक्टीरिया में होता है बट वन एक्सेप्शन इज व्हाट लिस्टीरिया दैट इज द ग्राम पॉजिटिव but still having the endotoxin property. All right, and the exotoxin is mainly present in the gram positive more than that of the gram negative. Now teichoic acid has a similar features of inflammatory reactions, and they are teichoic acid हमने कैसे याद किया था? We remember that gram positive P4P that is having thick peptidoglycan layer, and P4P that is having the pentaglycine chain that is not present in the gram negative. And the peptidoglycan layer in the gram negative is what? Thin, matlab it is thin layer, that is 2 to 10 layered. And plus sign positive is plus, this is how we write T as well, and that is what? Teichoic acid. All right. And the gram negative peptidoglycan layer is thick, pentaglycine chain is not there, but they have another amino acid, that is the mesodiaminopymelinic acid, that is not present in the gram positive bacteria. Other than this, the gram negative, they have very important layer, that is the outer membrane layer. और outer membrane layer में LPS होता है, that has the endotoxin activity, because LPS has three structures, that is O, C and A. ठीक है, फ्रॉम द आउटवर्ड्स में O फॉर O, दैट इज आउटर साइड, O, C and A. ठीक है, O is the responsible for the bacterial variability strain, C is what a group of carbohydrates, and A is what? A is responsible for the endotoxin activity of the gram negative bacteria, This is what I was talking about, O, C and A. That is, O antigen is responsible for the, because it is variable, therefore it is responsible for the bacterial strains, that is variable bacterial strains, and A is responsible for the endotoxin activity. This is the basic difference that we have learned. Endotoxin is what present in the N4, and that is in the gram negative, and it is क्योंकि gram negative के पास outer membrane है, and outer membrane is having LPS, so LPS is responsible for the endotoxin. while exotoxin what? Protein in nature, and protein क्या होता है? Protein heat labile होता है, तो protein is what? Heat labile toxin. It is heat stable toxin, and it is what? Less antigenicity. Therefore, toxoid cannot be produced, and they are produced only by the gram negative. While exotoxin, the proteins, they are what? They are antigenic, and toxoid can be produced. Now, which of the following microorganism is the major inhabitant of the human skin? That is the E. coli, Staph epidermis, Staph aureus, or the pyogenes. Very easy question. So what is the answer? So which of the following are major inhabitant of the human skin? We are talking about the human skin. On the human skin, what from the name itself, it's a general IQ based, even if you doesn't know, because the answer is what? Staph epidermis. That is, it is present on the skin surface. It is present on the skin surface. Therefore, it is one of the most important nosocomial organism. जब अपन IV catheter डालते हैं, from the skin surface, it is carried away along into the blood vessels. All right. Therefore, what is the most common organism that major inhabitant of the human skin? It is a Staph epidermis. Now select all the medically important bacteria which are frequently isolated as a major pathogen of the human infections: Anthrax, Pseudomonas, Plasmodium, Staphylococcus species, or the Mucor, or the Mycobacterium species. And now this is again multiple choice Central Institute examination question, PJ. All the question is very simple, but it is a PJ question. So just write down in the comment section, because polling is not possible for the multiple choice. So just write it down. So what is the answer? Question is very simple. Again, उन्होंने पूछा क्या, अपन को बैक्टीरिया पूछा है. Therefore, we have to identify enteric bacteria. It is what pathogenic. Pseudomonas, it's again obligate aerobe bacteria, and it is again pathogenic. Plasmodium species is not a bacteria. It is a parasite. Now, Staphylococcus is again bacteria. Mucor is what? Fungus, and Mycobacteria is again what? Bacteria. All of the following pathogens can cause the congenital infections that are transmitted from the infected mother to baby, except Treponema pallidum or Zika virus or herpes virus or Clostridium perfringens. ठीक है. So again, easy question that what except pucha, even if it doesn't know the congenital infections it takes place from the mother to infant, we do know that the Clostridium perfringens, Clostridium, it actually causes what? The food poisoning. It causes the food poisoning and the gas gangrene. ठीक है. Clostridium in mainly responsible for causing the gas gangrene and other symptoms of the food poisoning. Clostridium जब पढ़ेंगे we read about that. So therefore it is, and the spores are responsible in case of the Clostridium, क्योंकि दो ही बैक्टीरिया ऐसे होते हैं जो spores बनाते हैं, and we remember it by the BC forms the spores. All right, and that is B for Bacillus and C for Clostridium. And what we have to remember, कि Bacillus B4B doesn't form the bulging spores. It forms what? It forms the non-bulging spores. And Clostridium forms the bulging spores. All right. Rest of the infections, the syphilis is also congenitally transmitted, and the Zika virus and the herpes, we do read that herpes were again in the torch that we read for the mnemonic. That is the torch infections, that the Toxoplasma gondii, and the O for other infections like parvovirus, listeria, rubella, CMV, herpes, syphilis. They all are what? They all are congenital transmission. All right, syphilis usually occurs following the vertical transmission from mother to the fetus, and may also infected during the through the infected birth canal. Now, this is what we are talking about, the Zika virus. Zika virus, that is again the infection is taking place, both congenital infections taking place from the mother to child. Although second child infection there has not been proven, but it also does takes place. Now, which of the following coccus-shaped bacteria usually grow in the pairs? Again, very simple question from the Central Institute. Very simple. Klebsiella, Neisseria, Pseudomonas, or the Clostridium. कुछ बैक्टीरिया की मॉर्फोलॉजिकल अपीयरेंस ऐसी है that we need to remember by heart. All right. Now, which of the following coccus-shaped bacteria usually grow in the pairs? Remember it by heart. Key staph, Streptococcus, and Neisseria. ठीक है. Staph either in the pair or in the cluster form, like the grapes. Streptococcus either in the chain or in the linear form. Neisseria, very very important that we need to remember that Neisseria is, hello everyone, hi Mulai. Now Neisseria, two types. One is the meningococcus and gonococcus, and the difference is very very important. Neisseria में चार पांच चीजें ऐसी हैं जो अपन को by heart पढ़नी है. M, it is what? Moon shaped. It is half moon shaped or lens shaped. G, how we write G like this? It is what? ऐसे. ठीक है, that is the kidney shape. All right. Another important thing is that they are having what? Pili. That is the main valence factor for the gonococcus. All right. And Neisseria itself is an exception that all the coccus are the gram positive, but Neisseria is a gram negative diplococci. Gram negative diplococci. Another important thing is that AM is having what? Capsule. They are what? Capsulated. They are what? Capsulated. Now इट सिंस इट इज अ ग्राम नेगेटिव, तो दोनों के पास क्या होगा? लाइपोपॉलीसेकेराइड. ठीक है, दैट इज द मेन वायलेंस फैक्टर अलोंग विद द इंडिविजुअल वायलेंस फैक्टर जो इनके पास है. इसके अलावा आईजीए प्रोटीएज एंजाइम. अगेन इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन, आईजे प्रोटीएज पे भी क्वेश्चन आया है, कैप्सुलेटेड है कि नहीं, शेप क्या है, ऑल दीज आर क्वेश्चन. नाउ व्हाट कम्स, एम को उल्टा करेंगे तो डब्ल्यू, दैट इज द Waterhouse Friderichsen syndrome is what? The complication of the meningococcus, and it is what? It is bilateral adrenal gland hemorrhage. ठीक है, and for this it is what? Fitz-Hugh Curtis syndrome. That is what? That is perihepatitis, and we see the violin strings. We see the violin strings in between the capsule of the liver and the space. Now coming to the next question, and what is the drug of the choice? Drug of the choice क्या है for the Neisseria? What is the drug of the choice? The drug of the choice is what? Cefotaxime. ठीक है, and what is the media? What is the transport media for that? What is the transport media? That is how we write Neisseria. Thyer-Martin media is the selective media. Selective media. Selective media is what? Thyer-Martin media. But Neisseria, इसकी spelling में है, that is the Neisseria, A for Ames and S for Stewart's transport media. Ames transport and the Stewart's transport media. These are what? New York media is again selective media. ठीक है, Thyer-Martin media, New York media, modified Thyer-Martin media. All these are the selective media, not the transport media. Transport media is Ames and the Stewart's transport media. All right. This is how we see Neisseria gonorrhea. They always occur in the diplococcus, and the meningococcus is what? Capsulated. Which of the following microbe can survive only inside the cell? That is, they are obligate intracellular pathogens: Salmonella, this Vibrio cholera, and Mycobacterium, or Rickettsia. Which of the following is obligate intracellular pathogen? ठीक है, that is what? Rickettsia. Rickettsia is obligate intracellular pathogens. They need host cell for its survival, for to carry out its metabolism. And there is a list of the obligate intracellular organism, and one is the chlamydia, another is the rickettsia. इसके अलावा certain protozoa like the trypanosoma, plasmodium, toxoplasma, and pneumocystic cerevisiae, they are what? Intracellular pathogen. Now, it is the normal flora of the upper respiratory tract of the human body, that is a lactobacillus and staphylococcus species, or the vibrio, or none of the above. Is the normal flora of the upper respiratory tract. Now, some of you have also marked it lactobacillus. Lactobacillus is not the normal flora of the upper respiratory tract. It is the normal flora of the oral cavity and the normal genital tract of the females, that is the lactobacillus, is the normal for the normal flora. But staphylococcus and the streptococcus, they are the normal flora of the respiratory tract. Now normal respiratory flora includes the Neisseria, Candida, we know about the Candida, diphtheroids, alpha hemolytic streptococci, and some staphylococcus. So staph and Candida and Neisseria, they all present in where? Upper respiratory tract. Now, lactobacillus species are normal flora of the human mouth and the GIT as well as female genital tract, where they produce what? Where they produce the lactic acid to make the media acidic, that is to decrease the pH and competitively inhibit the growth of other pathogenic organisms. Now, which of the following bacteria release an endotoxin that causes the muscular paralysis? So, which of the following does causes the which of the following bacteria release an endotoxin that causes the muscular paralysis? Now, muscular paralysis, Bacillus cereus, it releases the toxin that has the two variants. एक तो होता है emetic and another is what? Diarrheal. Another is what? Diarrheal. But doesn't cause the muscular paralysis. ठीक है? So this also doesn't cause the muscular paralysis. Now, Streptococcus pyogenes, it also, whatever the clinical features that Streptococcus pyogenes have, pharyngitis and the scarlet fever and all, they are also not related with the muscular paralysis, nor does the typhoid. The Clostridium botulism, it is releasing what? It's releasing what? The botulism toxin. And वो क्या करता है? It actually inhibit the release of the neurotransmitters. It Yes, it does causes the floppy baby syndrome. Floppy baby syndrome because it causes what? Hypotonia, and in the children, and causes what? The floppy baby syndrome. Now, Clostridium, another important toxin is what? Titanospasmin. That is what? That is the tetanus. In the Clostridium tetani, what we see, that also causes what? That also causes the inhibition of the inhibitory transmitter, and this release the blockage of the inhibitory neurotransmitter, that is the, and causing the flaccid paralysis. Locked jaw that we see, opisthotonous position. All right, and Rhizus sardonicus. Now, my college is SMS Medical College, Jaipur. Currently, I'm resident doctor here in the SMS Medical College. So, tetanus, we just saw the action. Now, what is the important thing to remember about the tetanus? The Clostridium tetani is that one is that they have the drumstick or the tennis racket appearance. Drumstick due to the what? Due to what? The spores. As I told you, Bacillus and the Clostridium, दोनों के पास spores होते हैं. Bacillus के पास non-bulging spores and the Clostridium has what? Bulging spores. Have what? Bulging spores. This is the locking of the jaw, that is the Rhizus sardonicus, as if the person is smiling. And the mechanism is what? Mechanism is due to release of the inhibitory transmitters, glycine and the GABA, and therefore causing what? The increasing the deep tendon reflex, increasing the deep tendon reflex. Now, Bacillus cereus, I told you okay, two variants. One is emetic and another is the diarrheal. Emetic one is what? Heat stable toxin. Heat stable toxin. While diarrheal is what? It's heat labile toxin. Heat labile toxin. Yes, Bacillus cereus occurs after the consumption of the fried rice. We'll discuss in detail because we have so many of slides and we need to cover the question answers. So I'm not going into the detail. Now, moving to the next question. The Staphylococcus species produces which of the following enzyme? The protease, lipase, hyaluronidase, or the coagulase? Now, when we talk about the staphylococcus toxins and the enzymes, the one of the enzyme that is very important, takes major part, is the coagulase enzyme. That is, we do the test, the slide coagulase and the tube coagulase test. Right, slide coagulase test was the free coagulase test to check for the coagulase enzyme that causes the convert the fibrinogen to the fibrin and causes the entrapment of the bacteria in the web-like structure, and is responsible, is one of the most important virulence factor for the staphylococcus. This is a list of the toxins that we have read in the staphylococcus when we cover the topic, and we cover the pneumonic by the soft pains, that is the skin infections, osteomyelitis, food poisoning, TSS, and T toxic TSS is what, it's what a super antigen, it's what a super antigen, as well as the staph exfoliative toxin, that is the epidermolytic toxin, is also a super antigen. All right. And for the streptococcus, it was what? Enterotoxin. That was the super antigen. P say pneumonia, and A say acute endocarditis, infective arthritis, necrotizing fasciitis, and what? Sepsis. And what? Sepsis. All of the following bacteria are predominant normal flora of the human feces, except the Pseudomonas, bacteroids, Enterococcus species, as and the Bacillus. So, of the following bacteria are the predominant normal flora of the human feces, but not the Pseudomonas. Answer will be what? Pseudomonas. Pseudomonas is not a normal flora. It's a pathogenic. If Pseudomonas is present, it's pathogenic. It is not a normal flora for the humans. Bacteroids, Enterococcus, and the Bacillus, all these are present normally in the what? In the human feces. Now, the predominant aerobic organisms that include the E. coli, the Klebsiella, Enterobacter, and the Pseudomonas proteus. Now, coming to the next question. A 35-year-old male farmer presents with multiple discharging cervical sinus. Which of these stains will be useful for diagnosis? What does the organism normally, where does it colonize? That is the Grocott methanamine silver and past stain, and the location is intestine or non-acid fast. Baseline location is mouth or the gram stain in the oropharynx. The question is saying that the farmer, one history is given, if the patient is what farmer, and he has presented with discharging cervical sinus. ठीक है, cervical sinus. Now discharging cervical sinus, which of the stain is useful for the diagnosis? Now the history that the patient is having is either pointing towards what actinomyces. ठीक है, एक्टिनोमाइसिस में क्या होता है, सर्वाइकल साइनस का डिस्चार्ज होता है अलोंग द एंगल ऑफ जॉ, अलोंग द एंगल ऑफ जॉ. ठीक है, एंड दे आर व्हाट, दे आर नॉन एसिड फास्ट स्टेन्ड बैक्टीरिया, while nocardia they are what, acid fast and they are aerobes. जबकि actinomyces they are what, have the discharging sinus along the angle of the jaw, and the what is the we call it sun ray appearance, because of the granules that is being released, the sun ray appearance. When we do the microscopy of the actinomyces, we see the sun ray appearance of the discharging granules by the actinomyces. All right, now they are non-acid fast organism, and they occurs most commonly, the location is what, oral cavity, the cervical area and the facial side, that is in the mainly in around the oral cavity they are present. The angle of jaw, this is an important thing to remember, that the angle of jaw is generally involved when the diagnosis is considered, because they have the lesion, they have mass lesion where they have the discharge pus with the granules that is seen along the area of the jaw. All right, now we come to the difference of the actinomycin use mycetoma later. It's already very late. One, just remember that one reaction is Splandor-Hoppeli reaction that is seen in the actinomyces, and is nothing. This is eosinophilic amorphous material that is surrounding the granules, this is the granule that is being released by what, actinomyces, and these are what, surrounded by the eosinophilic material. You can see this is the angle of the jaw that was I was talking about, and the discharge of the pus with the granules along the cervical area. Laboratory diagnosis is important because they are non-acid fast staining. Therefore, laboratory diagnosis is important to differentiate it from the nocardia, because they are almost similar appearance. Therefore, we need to differentiate on the basis of the discharge of the granules, and they show what? They show the sun ray appearance. ठीक है, very important. They show what? Sun ray appearance. This is the sun ray appearance that is present where in the actinomyces due to release of the granules. Now, coming to the next question, a patient comes to a clinic with the complaint of the multiple episodes of the loose water stool for last 3 days. On probing, he discovered that these episodes starts after he has ingested the shellfish at a local restaurant 3 days back. Other people who had the food from that restaurant had the similar symptoms. What is the most common cause of the viral diarrhea in the adults? It's calcivirus, it's rota, it's adeno, or the norovirus. So what is the answer here? What is the answer? One thing we need to see, that loose watery stool. Patient is having the loose watery stool complaint. Take a loose watery stool for the 3 days. Another thing that the question is giving, that the person has consumed what? Shellfish. All right. And patient has the history of consumption of the shellfish. Now coming to one or each of the options one by one. One is the calcivirus. Calcivirus doesn't have the clinical presentation in the human. It mainly causes the disease of the cats. Okay? It is not seen in the human infection. It causes the viral infection in the cats. Next is what? The rotavirus. The Question is saying that patient has come to you, not a children has come to you. ठीक है, rotavirus is mainly causing what the disease in the children. ठीक है, less than 3 years, so rotavirus is also included. Now we are left with the option, that is one is the adeno and the norovirus. But when the consumption of the shellfish is particularly told us about, just like when we consume the pastry and the milky products, we suspect about the staphylococcus aureus infection. Just like that, when we consume the shellfish, what the viral infection that we suspect with the watery diarrhea stools is what? Norovirus. Is what? Norovirus. ठीक है, so history of multiple episodes of loose watery stool for 3 days and history of ingestion of the shellfish with similar symptoms to other patients who has consumed the shellfish is suggestive of what? Acute viral gastroenteritis. Most likely organism is what? Norovirus. It is the most common infectious agent of the mild gastroenteritis in the community, and it affects all the age group. Whereas sapovirus is mainly what? Causing gastroenteritis in the children. It causes epidemic gastroenteritis, that is, it causes within a community. At the same time, epidemic, it has a potential to cause the epidemic. All right, and it's replicate in the human intestinal mucosal cells to produce the gastroenteritis. Now, human norovirus is not generally able to grow in the culture yet, and the mechanism of pathogenicity is still unknown. Norovirus characteristic cause the limitations. Now, this is the norovirus, the presentation with the vomiting, diarrhea, fever, and the myalgia with the incubation period of 12 to 48 hours. And as I told you that calcivirus doesn't poses no threat to humans. Now, rotavirus is having the wheel shape appearance. All right. Another option that we had is what? Adenovirus. Adenovirus does causes the diarrhea, but the most common pathogenic characteristic of the adenovirus, it is what? It is causing the epidemic keratoconjunctivitis. Epidemic keratoconjunctivitis with acute follicular conjunctivitis or pharyngoconjunctival fever. Either of it's possible to cause, but the most common it causes what? EKC is again an ophthalmology question, that it causes what? EKC. Now, moving to the next question, antibody dependent enhancement is implicated in the immunopathogenesis of which disease? Either the influenza or the staph hypococcal TSS or the Waterhouse Friderichsen syndrome or dengue hemorrhagic fever. Now, what is the question saying? Okay, so a question has been asked. Most common virus that causes the diarrhea in the adults. The most common viral diarrhea is caused by norovirus only. So remember that point also, that norovirus is responsible for causing the diarrhea in the adults. That is the causing what? Viral gastroenteritis. Viral gastroenteritis. All right. Coming to the next question, what is the antibody-dependent enhancement that is implicated in the immunopathogenesis of which disease? Now, antibody-dependent enhancement is seen in the dengue hemorrhagic fever. What happens in the dengue is that कि dengue के क्या होते हैं? कितने variants है? 4 variants that we studied, DEN 1, 2, 3, and 4. But what happens once the infection has taken place for one of the variant? जब वापस कोई serotype change हो जाता है, तो memory cells, they are unable to recognize that variant, and the neutralizing neutralizing body that was previously formed against other variant of the dengue, now it doesn't act against that variant, so they will bind with the डेंगू वायरस. ठीक है, दे विल बाइंड, मतलब न्यूट्रलाइजिंग बॉडी दैट वाज सपोज टू न्यूट्रलाइज द वायरस, दैट वाज सपोज टू किल द वायरस, इंस्टेड ऑफ किलिंग इट दे विल बाइंड विद इट. एंड वी नो कि सेल बाउंड एंटीजन की तरह काम करने लग जाएगा, सेल बाउंड एंटीजन वेर एवर whenever, and this will be this antibody that has been attached with the dengue virus cell. This will be recognized as foreign body, and this will be taken up by the macrophage. And we know when something is taken inside of the macrophage, instead of going into the phagocytosis, it will replicate inside the macrophage. ठीक है, तो instead of providing the immunity against the dengue, it will actually enhance the fever, it will actually enhance the disease. So this is what happening in the dengue hemorrhagic fever, and the reason is what, because of the variants of the dengue virus, and the neutralizing antibody is incapable of neutralizing the virus. Now, dengue hemorrhagic fever antibody dependent enhancement is implicated in the immunopathogenesis of the dengue fever. That is when the secondary infections taking place, the dengue virus instead is what actually neutralized by the antibody. But secondary infection is taking place by the different serotype, instead of neutralizing, the heterotypic non-neutralizing antibodies will actually bind with the dengue virus, and they will be represented to the mononuclear cells, and they will be taken up, and this will increase the viral replication. And this is seen where in dengue hemorrhagic fever, dengue septic shock, and neurological complications of the dengue. All right, vector is what? Vector is the Aedes aegypti, and this is the presentation of the dengue. One is either asymptomatic or the symptomatic. Symptomatic will go in THF or in dengue fever, and depending on the category, whether the patient belongs to category A, B, or C, the treatment is given, because there is no definitive treatment for the dengue. Depending on the category A, B, C, the treatment is given. All right, 3 febrile phase we'll discuss in the detail in particular session when we talk about dengue. And the grades of the DHF 1, 2, 3, and 4. Grade 3 and 4 in the considered in the shock because of the weak pulse and the hypotension, and the profound shock with undetectable blood pressure and the pulse. Coming to the next question, the phage mediated change in the corynebacterium diphtheria is due to which of the following? It's what? Conjugation, is transformation, transduction, or none of the above? An easy question from the AIMS. ठीक है, so phage mediated change in the corynebacterium diphtheria is due to which of the following? We are talking of the phage. When we talk about the phage, it is what? It is the transduction. It is the transduction. Conjugation, transformation, transduction, all are example of horizontal transmission. Horizontal transmission that we see. And the phage mediated mispackaging, defective package of the DNA material taken place from the one bacteria to another is seen in where? In the transduction. Transformation is uptake of the DNA fragments from the environment directly, uh, if the bacteria is what? Competent, due to presence of the competent factors. Conjugation is from one bacteria to another with the help of the conjugation tube, और conjugation tube बनती है जिनके पास ट्रा जीन्स होती है, right? And transduction donor DNA is carried by a phage and is transferred into the recipient by the mechanism used by the phage. The trivalent influenza vaccine contains all of the following strains except H1N1, H3N2, H2N1, or influenza B vaccine. So what is it? The trivalent influenza vaccine. Influenza vaccine are two types. One is trivalent, another is what? Quadruple. ठीक है. Trivalent vaccine, we have one influenza B strain and other influenza A strain. And influenza A के कौन से subtypes? One is H1N1 and another is H3N2. For the quadruple also we have two strains of influenza B and influenza A, H1N1 and H3N2, but we do not have H2N1. We do not have H2N1. All right. So that is trivalent vaccine or the quadrivalent influenza strain. That is one influenza type A subtypes H1N1, H3N2, and two type B in the quadrivalent and one type B in trivalent. Most effective method of infection control, most cost effective method is what? Repeated disinfection use, alcohol based rubbing, prophylactic antibiotic therapy, or the hand washing. So what is the most cost effective method? Obviously cost effective method is what? Hand washing, and most effective method is also hand washing. Okay, because prophylactic antibiotic therapy is not the effective method because of it will cause what? Antibiotic resistance. Alcohol based rubbing is not cost effective, neither the repetitive disinfectant use. In developing countries, hand washing with the soap is recognized as the cost effective essential tool for achieving good health and good nutrition. Coming to the next question, which of the following is the most common fungus infection of the eye seen in the HIV positive patient? So, what is the most common fungal infection in the eye seen in the patient of the HIV? It's what? It is what? It is Candida. It's not Aspergillus. Some of you have marked Aspergillus. Aspergillus only in the 1% of the cases it cause endophthalmitis. Endophthalmitis, and that is what? Invasive. It causes what? Invasive endophthalmitis only in the 1% of the cases of the HIV patient. Now, Candida, and the most common subtype of the Candida is what? Candida albicans. That is the important nosocomial pathogens and most common Candida species and most common cause of the keratitis conjunctivitis and the fungal endophthalmitis that is seen in the HIV patient. Now, coming to the next question, the serology profile that is done for a patient is mentioned below. What is the likely cause of the abnormal findings with HBAG non-reactive? HBV DNA is undetectable, HBe antigen is also non-reactive, and IgG anti-HBC is what? Reactive. That is the chronic hepatitis inactive state or chronic hepatitis recovery state, pre-core mutant infection or window period. So what is it? What is it? It's actually what? पहली बात तो IgG anti-HBC is reactive. That is, the patient is having IgG. That is, the patient has moved to the chronic phase. That is the either chronic inactive state or chronic recovery state. But the patient is non-reactive for the HBs antigen. Any inactive state patient who had the hepatitis will actually have the marker for the HBs antigen. So the answer will be what? Answer with the patient will be in the recovery phase. Patient is in what? The recovery phase. This graph is very, very important, and that questions are asked for the AIMS and Central Institute examination. The serological profile of the hepatitis B is very important. We will discuss the important topics for the AIMS soon. Just we cover up the session for the MCQs. Now, coming to the next question, the following picture was seen in the nasal biopsy from a patient with the brain abscess. Identify the organism and the stain that is used. It's staph, streptococcus, cryptococcus, or nocardia. This is a standard image for an organism that we are talking about, and maybe the image may not be that positive because the screen is small. So, I hope it's visible better now. All right. So what is the question is saying that the patient taken the nasal biopsy when taken from the patient will show the image. सब कुछ image पे dependent है. We have to identify the organism. Whenever the in the image slide, the growth and the colonies, the growth is shown like this filamentous. Either it's nocardia or the actinomyces, depending on the question that the granules are present or not. We will go for the actinomyces, and we are not discussing about the granules, and we are not discussing about the if the question is given that the acid fast, then nocardia is acid fast, and you can clearly see the background is blue and the organism is what? Pinkish purple, just like the tuberculosis, because they are also acid fast. Both nocardia and the mycobacterium tuberculosis are acid fast. The answer is hinting towards what? Nocardia. For the staphylococcus, if it was present, then in the gram stain they would appear as either in the bunch, clusters, or in the pairs. Similarly, from the streptococcus, they will appear as the chain form. Now you can say that this is also, it is appearing as a chain form, but in the nocardia we are checking for what? We are checking for the acid fast stain. All right. Now, coming to the nocardia, they have the pulmonary, cutaneous, and the disseminated manifestation. This is clearly the filamentous growth of the nocardia. And another stain that we use is what? Quinone stain is nothing but it is what? Again, a acid fast stain, that is to stain. That is the procedure to stain both the mycobacterium as well as the nocardia. All right, this is how the staph would have appeared. Staphylococcus, that is in the bunch of the grapes, in the branch of the grapes, and the streptococcus in the chain form, in the chain form. दिस अ क्रिप्टोकोकस. क्रिप्टोकोकस तो इमेज अलग ही दिख जाती है क्योंकि उनके सराउंडिंग अपन को कैप्सूल दिखता है. दिस इज नथिंग, दिस इज the negative stain or the India ink stain or the nigrosin stain. Nigrosin stain जिसमें background negative stain है तो मतलब उल्टा होगा. That is the background is black and the bacteria with the capsule will appear as bright white refractal appearance due to the capsule around the cryptococcus. Only fungus that is capsulated, that is the refractal halo appearance around the capsule. All right. This is also the H&E stain of the cryptococcus, and you can see the capsule. You can clearly see the capsule, halo capsule, and this is the soft bubble appearance of the same cryptococcus. This is actually the budding form of the cryptococcus. All right. Now coming to the next question, smear was prepared from the genital ulcer. Identify the organism. It's chlamydia, it's Treponema pallidum, it's Neisseria, or it's Trichomonas vaginalis. So what we are talking about, the smear was prepared with the genital ulcer. Now looking at the image, it's not of the ट्रेपेनोमा पैलिडियम, उनके पास तो corkscrew appearance होती है, corkscrew. Smear was prepared from the genital. Identify the organism. Now, what is the answer? The answer is what? Trichomonas vaginalis. Trichomonas the vaginalis. I'm not getting the doubt that is what? Pear shape तो नहीं है ma'am, only flagella. Now, when we talk about the Trichomonas vaginalis, what are the key points? One is that कि वो क्या होते हैं? Direct parasite होते हैं. Direct parasite होते हैं. ठीक है? Direct parasite, and it is the only trophozoite form that is present in case of the Trichomonas vaginalis. There is no cyst and there is no pre-cyst form, and they have the typical motility of the twitching or the jerky type of motility due to 5 number of flagella, because they are having 4 flagella and 1 flagella that is attached with the membrane, that is the undulated membrane is present, and because of that membrane they are having what? They are having the twitching motility. Very important, that is they are not having any other form apart from the trophozoite form. All right. And very important clinical presentation, the patient will present with genital ulcer, and when we do, the patient will have the patient will have what? Strawberry cervix or strawberry vagina. The strawberry cervix or the strawberry vagina with foul fishy like yellow or green discharge. All right. The patient will complain with the itchy edema and the foul fishy like discharge with strawberry vagina or the cervix, that is the colpitis muscularis macularis. All right, this is the membrane that I was talking about, and there are therefore 5 number of flagella. Okay, 2 on the either side and 1 undulated membrane that is responsible for giving the twitching motility to the Trichomonas vaginalis. These are the strawberry spots. These are the strawberry spots that is the hallmark for the Trichomonas vaginalis, and this is very important to remember. Please remember this mnemonic: the strawberry tongue is seen where? In the scene with the Kawasaki disease, strawberry gingiva in the G4 the Wagner's granulomatosis, nasal mucosa in the sarcoidosis, strawberry nasal mass is seen in the rhinosporidiosis, gallbladder, again important question, is seen in the cholestasis. Shaped skull is seen in the Edwards syndrome. Strawberry nevus is again important question, is seen in the capillary hemangioma. Strawberry vagina we just saw seen in the Trichomonas vaginalis, and the strawberry lesion of the rectosigmoid is seen in the infection of the spirochete. Now it's strawberry tongue, strawberry gingiva, strawberry gallbladder, strawberry nevus, strawberberry vagina. These are important to remember, and they are direct questions. Now, a 24-year-old female presented with the ulcer in the genital area. Giemsa stained cervical smear was taken, which showed the following image. What is the causative organism? It's what? Chlamydia, it's Gardnerella vaginalis, it's H. ducreyi, or it's Calymaetobacterium donovani. Okay, so what is the question is saying? The patient is presented with an ulcer in the genital area. All right, so chlamydia, H. ducreyi, Gardnerella, they all do have the ulcer in the genital area, but when we talk about the smear, this is what Donovan body. This is what Donovan body that is seen in the Calymaetabacterium donovani, and it is not same as the LD bodies, that is the Leishmania donovani body that we see, because there we see the amasticate form in the Macrophage. It is seen intracellularly in the mononuclear cells, and they are minute cocobacilli closely related to the Klebsiella, and they are what? Suggesting of the granuloma inguinale. Granuloma inguinale. All right, that is a granuloma inguinale, now known also known as Klebsiella granulomatis, with a genital ulcer, and they have what? Intracellular cocobacilli within the macrophage. In the leishmania body, we were having what? We were having the amastigote form in the macrophage. Here we have the cocobacillus within the macrophage. This is for the H. ducreyi. The appearance is important. That is the school of fish appearance, school of fish appearance, or the railroad appearance, or the tram track appearance, tram track appearance. Chancroid. Chancroid is again caused by what? H. ducreyi, and it is what? It is a painful genital ulcer. Painful genital ulcer. Chancroid is what? Caused by the H. ducreyi, and they are what? Soft chancre. Now, this is the in the bacterial vaginosis. In the bacterial vaginosis, this is the smear that is prepared, and what we see, we see the in the Gardnerella vaginalis अपन में क्या देखते हैं? Clue cells देखते हैं. And what is the name of the test? What is the name of the test? It is what? Whiff test. It is what? Whiff test. And what is the concentration? 10% of the KOH we use. और अपन क्या देखते हैं? Clue cells होती है. Clue cells क्या होती है? कुछ नहीं होता. Epithelial, the vaginal epithelial cells. The vaginal epithelial cells, they have the clusters of what? They have the cluster of what? The bacteria, this Gardnerella vaginalis, that is present on the epithelial cells, and this is what? Nothing. This is the clue cells, and the test is what? The Whiff test, and we use the Amsler's grade to identify what? To identify the bacterial vaginosis. Now, this is what I was talking about. The vaginal epithelium is coated by the Gardnerella vaginalis. Now, what is the treatment of choice? Treatment of choice is what? Metronidazole, and given 500 mg 2 times a day for 7 days. This is the standard treatment that we give. Metronidazole is the drug of the choice. Metronidazole is the drug of the choice. Now, a patient presents with the headache and the projectile vomiting, along with the alteration in the sensorium. The following parasite demonstrated on India ink staining. What is the diagnosis? Coccidioids, histoplasma, blastomycosis, or cryptococcus, So what is the site जो अपन खुद देखिए? It is a standard image of negative stain or India ink preparation, or the nigrosin stain that we use to check for the capsule, and we are looking at what? We are looking the perinuclear halo, refractal halo around the organism, around the cryptococcus, only fungus that is the capsulated. Histoplasma capsulatum is misnomer because it's not capsulated. Cryptococcus neoform is the only fungus that is the capsulated, and we are using the Indian preparation where the background is black with the refractile halo around the capsule. All right. Now the alternate staining methods are nigrosin and the mucicarmine stain, and visualization of the capsule in the CSF that is mixed with the Indiana ink is useful for the rapid diagnosis. They have the distinctive appearance because the capsule exclude the ink particles. Now, talking about the blastomycosis, what is the most important thing to remember? That they have the figure of 8 appearance. Figure of 8 is what? 8 is what? This is how this appear, figure of 8 appearance, and this is a budding yeast. बर्डिंग ईस्ट, क्योंकि ये डाइमॉर्फिक फंगस होता है, this blastomycos and their yeast form when they show budding, they show the figure of eight appearance. All right. And the disease is also known as the guilt Christ disease. Guilt Christ disease. All right, this is the figure of eight appearance. That is a budding is that is seen in the blastomycosis. Blastomycosis. Now, this is a schematic diagram depicting the body structure of which of the helminthes. It is Onchocerca volvulus, Brugia malai, Loa loa, or Wucheria bonkrefti. Wucheria bonkrefti. ठीक है. So this is what showing the terminal and the subterminal nucleus, terminal and the subterminal nucleus that is seen in the Brugia malai, and you can see the sheeted covering around the microfilary that is having the terminal and the subterminal nucleus. The microfilary given in the question has the morphology of the Brugia malai. Head space is twice as long and the nuclei in the body appears crowded, and the tail tapers around the two nuclei that appears to be connected by a fine thread. That is the, this is very important to remember, please, because Wucheria bonkrefti, they are having the tail, that is what anucleate, they are having the anucleate tail with the short head space. When we talk about the Brugia, we have seen they are having the terminal as well as subterminal nucleus. For Loa loa, they are having irregularly spaced nuclei, and up to the tip. Wucheria bonkrefti, they have the tail and that is empty. All right. Now, when we talk about the Mansell perstans and the Ozardi, all the MCQ for that is not randomly asked. The most important is about the Wucheria, the Loa loa, and the Brugia. Now, coming to the next question. A patient has presented with the progressive dyspnea. Chest X-ray revealed a cavitatory lesion in the lower lobe of the right lung. The following histopathological appearance was seen of resection of the cavity. Now, what is the most likely cause of the disease and the number of layers that can be seen in the wall of the parasite? Cysticercosis with the three layers, strongyloids with two layers, echinococcus with two layers, and the paragonimus with two layers. So what is that? What is that? Echinococcus with the two layers. Echinococcus with, again, there is a Ames repetitive question, and it is what seen where in the hydrated. The class is about to end in 10 minutes because 2-3 questions are only left, and the class will end soon. I was late today. Sorry for that because I was at my duty. Now, they are having got two layers. One is the cyst wall, another is what germinal epithelium. Germinal epithelium, that is the cyst wall is having the is what fibrous cyst wall, and it is formed by the reactive tissue around the hydrated cyst. The layers of the cyst are important in case of the echinococcus. and please remember the layers. Please remember the layers. Inside are the daughter cells. Inside are the daughter cells that are free floating in the hydrated sand, and they are having what? They are having the protoscoliosis within the brood capsules. Within the brood capsules. All right. Now coming to the next question, what is the name of the disease that is transmitted by this vector? Is what? Filaria, leishmania, yellow fever, or malaria? Sorry, I think I did polling wrong for this. Just start me over again. What is a vector? What is a vector? This is what? This is the sand fly. This is what? The sand fly. This is what? The sand fly. ठीक है. And sand fly is causing what? Sand fly क्या करता है? Leishmania. Leishmania. That is the kala azar. That is the kala azar. And leishmania are of three types. Are of three types. One is the cutaneous, mucocutaneous, and visceral leishmaniasis. Visceral leishmaniasis. All right. Man is what? Man is the accidental host with the presence of what? With the presence of a masticate. Sorry. Sandfly is the definite host and man is the intermediate host. Intermediate host हमने कैसे याद किया था? आदमी में a, that is आदमी is having what? A masticate form, and sandfly is having what? Pro-masticate form. Pro-masticate form. All right. The amasticate form is taken up by the macrophage और ये क्या बना देगा? LD bodies. LD body is nothing but the macrophage that is having the amasticate form. That is having the amasticate form is what? LD body. Now when we talk about the cutaneous kala azar, cutaneous kala azar is also known as Delhi boil, Baghdad boil, लखनऊ बॉयल और ओरिएंटल सोर. ठीक है. Delhi, Baghdad, Lucknow, and Oriental sore. All are the other names for the cutaneous leishmaniasis. And what is the most important clinical presentation of the cutaneous leishmaniasis? They are having pizza base like ulcer. Pizza base like ulcer with the ketchup and the cheese toppings. This is how the ulcer appears for the cutaneous leishmaniasis. That is a pizza base like ulcer. Although the cutaneous leishmaniasis resolves spontaneously, but they are having the typical appearance of pizza base like ulcer. Sandfly is the primary vector, and the females have the pair of the anal vector. This is not must leave it. These are the important vector-borne disease that we need to remember. That for the malaria, it is Anopheles. For the dengue, it's Aegypti and Aedes albopicus. For chikungunya, also it is Aedes. For Japanese encephalitis, it is the Culex. For Chandipura virus and for the leishmaniasis, it is what? It is sandfly. And for filariasis, it is what? Culex and Mansonia. This is what I was talking about, the a masticate form with what is, which is nothing but it is what? It is the a macrophage having the a masticate form, and these are what? These are the LD bodies. These are what? The LD bodies. All right, identify the disease in which of the following the treatment is used. It's for the influenza or the kala azar, TB, or leprosy. These red and the blue and the green packets are used for the treatment of the leprosy, used for the possibacillary and the multibacillary treatment of the leprosy in the adults or in the children. We need to remember it, the treatment, the standard treatment for the leprosy. We need to remember it is again an important question, and since it has come in the AIMS examination recently, the probability of coming being asked in the NEET is again very high. We need to remember कि जो green packet के ऊपर अपन तीन, we can see the three medicines. Now the two medicine capsules, the as what for the rifampicin, that is the 300 mg for on the day one, that is we are giving what, two capsules of the rifampicin. Now another white capsule, you can see this is for the dapsone, and the same white capsules are given for the rest of the days, on the day 2 to 28 days, that is 100 mg. So we are giving the rifampicin plus dapsone, and the rest of the days we are giving what, the dapsone for the adult regime, for the multibacillary adult regime. You can see total 6 capsules. Now initial 3 capsules are for what, the rifampicin सबसे ज़्यादा देंगे अपन first day पे. Then 2 capsules below you can see these are what, clofazimine. The 3 capsules, these are what, these are the clofazimine, and the below 2 capsules are for rifampicin. The white capsule is again for the dapsone. Now below also you can see the 2 capsules. The 2 capsule, one is for the clofazimine and the another is what, dapsone. For the adult, at least please remember the regime. That is how for a green packet is given for the possibacillary, and the pink packet is given for what, the multibacillary regime. Now next question, the following life cycle the most closely resembles that of which of the following virus? It's influenza A, dengue, Japanese encephalitis, or KFT. So what is the answer? It is a Japanese encephalitis. How do we recognize one? We are seeing the amplifying host, and these are the pig. The pig are the amplifying host where in the Japanese encephalitis, and another are we seeing the transovarial transmission. The transovarial transmission we see in the rickettsia, we see in the Japanese encephalitis. That is, the egg is infected, then the larva is infected, and the it accidentally transferred to the humans. That is a dead end host. Humans are the dead end host. And the transstadial in transmission we see in the Lyme's disease, जहाँ पे क्या होता है, जहाँ पे लार्वा infected होता है, फिर adult form भी infected होते हैं, but eggs are not infected. All right. So this pig, they are the amplifying host in the Japanese encephalitis, and the water birds, they are the maintenance host. They are what, the maintenance host. That is vector-borne virus, and amplifying host is pig, and the mosquito, the virus to birds like the pond, that is a bird, water birds, they are mainly the maintenance host. Now, I guess this is a last question. What a young male presents with the following lesion for 1 month. All of the following genera can cause this kind of lesion except Aspergillus, Trichophyton, Microsporum, or the Epidermophyton. All the trichophyton, microsporum, and epidermophyton, they are belonging to the dermatophytes family and superficial fungal infection. All right, Aspergillus, this is what Jack itch. Although this is a dermat question, this has been asked in that section, but that is fine because we are reading the fungus. The TAM, that is a trichophyton, epidermophyton, they are belong to dermatophytes and they cause the Jack itch. They cause the Jack itch, and what is the? It is mainly जहाँ पे ह्यूमिड टेम्परेचर स्वेटिंग ज्यादा होते हैं इन those areas the jack itch it typically occurs more in males compared to that of the females. Now the lesion the given picture are suggestive of the tinea and also it is known as the jack itch group of fungus. The ringworm, the under moist conditions have the ability to survive only on the dead keratin because they are the superficial fungal infection and they are what using the keratin as their food, that is they have the survive on the dead keratin layer, and they belongs to three genera, that is the microsporum, epidermophyton and the trichophyton. Aspergillus, it is what Aspergillus highly mold with abundant conidia, and they mainly cause the allergic Aspergillus sinusitis and the allergic bronchopulmonary aspergillosis. That is the main clinical symptom of that Aspergillus. And who are the at risk factors? Either the patient is on corticosteroids or the patient is what neutropenic. This is again an important feature whenever the in the question is asked the patient is neutropenic, and the aspergillus is also given, consider that option as well. Okay. Now in patients with the chronic illness it will present with aspergilloma and the chronic pulmonary aspergillosis. Invasive aspergillosis is fatal and is having what high mortality rate, high mortality rate, right? This is the jack is the treatment can be done at home only by taking shower regularly, keeping your groin area clean and dry, and washing your hands and applying the ice pack or the washing the area with the cool water. Other than that, so that was pure question on session round. Theory was not covered as such because the paper is over the head. So I've taken so many questions from the AIMS examination only, mainly covering the 2015 and 16 years microbiology AIMS examination question. The rest will cover soon, and I'll start the session for the INICT very soon for that as well. So I hope you're doing well, and do like, share, and subscribe. And it's already very late. I guess you guys must be uh, half sleepy just like me. All right, so use my code that is Muskan10 to get 10% of the discount. And either you enroll into the Unacademy or use any subscription, please use my code. And on the 10th of the October at 11 a.m. NEET PG Compact हो रहा है examination, scholarship program examination by the Unacademy, where you will get up to 100% of scholarship if you're ranking between 1 to 3. सिर्फ 1 घंटे का पेपर होगा and it will be for 45 questions, and you must enroll into that and you must give the paper because it's clear catch and opportunity. We all are in the preparation zone, and if something free is offered to us, so why not grab that? All right, so kal milte hain. Until that, take care and bye bye. Study well, sleep well, eat well, और डेंगू से बच के रहो अभी. चलो बाय, गुड नाइट, सो जाओ.